From a single unstable genetic code, 10 divergent destinies arise. In an era where the natural world is paved over by concrete and steel, adaptation is no longer a mere choice. From the scorching, abrasive winds of the wasteland to the toxic, glowing veins of the Undercity. Even amidst the cold, suffocating silence of human greed, life remarkably finds a way to endure. Whether lurking in the darkest, most terrified corners of the mind, or soaring through the highest peaks of divine hope, this is the mirror of the Anthropocene. And deep beneath the Earth's crust, sunlight is but a distant, fading memory. Here, soft fur is a liability and the lungs burn with every ragged breath of coal dust. It is a life defined by relentless, crushing labor. But in the dark, competition for resources is fierce, and disaster strikes without warning. When the earth itself collapses, burying all hope, mere flesh and bone are simply not enough to withstand the weight. Under this immense crushing pressure, a miraculous transformation begins. The biology shifts, rewriting its own rules to survive the catastrophe. To save its companion from certain death, the body mimics the machine. GIRION emerges, a living fortress of organic steel built to endure the unendurable. And where brute strength fails, sheer ingenuity takes over. Dustin evolves a drill of pure keratin, spinning with desperate speed, carving a path to salvation through the bedrock. Cold, unyielding metal meets the warmth of human gratitude. The bond is forged not in sunlight, but in the deepest dark. They are no longer mere pets to be kept. They have become the very pillars and the essential guardians of this industrial ecosystem. In the forgotten slums where the river runs thick with chemical waste, life still clings to existence. Yet even here, amidst the refuse and decay, innocence tries to scavenge a living. But the environment is hostile and unforgiving. A toxic threat emerges from the sludge. A fatal encounter seems inevitable, unless biology can intervene in the most drastic way. Behold Blonde. Its veins now flow with bioluminescent venom, turning the toxin into a weapon. The cells do not fight the poison, they embrace it. A deadly defense mechanism powerful enough to melt steel. Yet, it is a curse that isolates him from the very touch of affection he craves. Above the grime, another seeks the artificial sun. Phaeton, evolving to navigate the electric forest, drawn irresistibly to the mesmerizing, flickering glow of the city. One brings death to the flowers with a single touch. The other brings light to the shadows. They find each other in the dark, guided by necessity. A perfect paradoxical symbiosis. Life springing from decay, beauty blooming from the toxic waste, nature reclaims what was lost. In this neon-lit darkness, amidst the ruins of civilization, they form an unlikely family. Bound not by blood, but by survival. In this vault of avarice, value is measured strictly in carats. Here, a living creature is forced to consume the very stones of the earth, twisting its biology to satisfy a singular human obsession. The agonizing pain of calcification creates GIRION, a living statue frozen in time, beautiful to behold certainly, but tragic in its absolute cold stillness. But wealth attracts scavengers. And when the glass shatters and alarms ring, the collector reveals his true nature, protecting his cold gold, not his living companion. Loyalty, however, is a currency that cannot be bought. The instinct to guard triggers a primal change, awakening a dormant power within. Kodion rises, a dragon born of duty, fueled by the ancient burning urge to protect the horde. It becomes the myth made flesh. A wall of shimmering turquoise scales stands against a heart of stone. The threat is neutralized by sheer, overwhelming majesty. For a brief, fleeting moment, the statue sees the spirit of the dragon, and perhaps deep within the crystal feels a spark of life return. One is trapped by its own immense value, the other free to roam in the shadows above, yet their fates are intertwined. Both remain prisoners of the gilded cage, bound by the cold chains of possession. The human mind is a landscape far more treacherous than any physical jungle. Some souls are lost in the suffocating shadows of trauma, while others desperately seek the clarity of the highest peaks. Empathy bridges the gap between species. They sense the unseen trauma and the silent longing for flight that words cannot express. To survive these turbulent inner worlds, they must transcend biology itself. Reimagined becomes the shadow, merging with the darkness to fight it. Eeveelutions becomes the light, a physical manifestation of hope, evolving to carry the weight of a prayer. One devours the fear that haunts the subconscious, feeding on nightmares. The other radiates a calming aura, lifting the heavy spirit towards the sky. Darkness and light. Neither is inherently evil, neither is absolute. They are two sides of the same coin. Both are essential for the delicate, fragile balance of the human soul. Without shadow, there is no depth. Without light, no vision. As the inner demons fade and the sun breaks through, the guardians retreat, returning to the elements from which they came. The storm has passed. The mind, once a battlefield, is quiet once more. The healing has begun. And in that profound silence, the two worlds merge into a singular moment of clarity. In this brutal arena, there is no room for magic. There is only physics and raw brutality. It appears to be a mismatch of size, perhaps, but certainly not a mismatch of spirit. The impact is devastating. Bone meets concrete. The senses are overwhelmed by the shock of violence. Mercy is offered in the form of a white towel. But for this creature, surrender is not in its nature. The sheer will to fight overrides the screaming pain. Scar tissue hardens instantly into armor. Thrawn is reborn, a warrior forged in the fires of pain and determination. It stands immovable, a warrior forged in fire. It absorbs the blows that would fell a giant, turning defense into a statement of power. And then it strikes back, not with rage but with surgical precision, every movement calculated, every hit decisive. A victory earned in blood, a testament to the fact that the strongest muscle is the heart. The crowd cheers for the spectacle, hungry for violence, but the bond between them is silent, sacred, and deeply personal. The lights fade, the arena empties, leaving only the echoes of battle and the stains of sacrifice on the floor. Scarred, limping, yet utterly unbreakable, they walk into the night together, leaving the glory behind. And finally, Setke, when the crushing pressure lifts, when there is no war to fight, no poison to breathe, no greed to satisfy, evolution takes its purest, most ancient form, Aeon. Not a monster built for battle, not a machine built for labor. Simply a friend, the most powerful and enduring adaptation of all. For in this rapidly changing, often unforgiving world, perhaps the greatest survival skill is simply the capacity to love